Hello everyone, welcome to the lecture number 1 of Edexcel Math Specification B, and I'm assuming that if you're watching this video you have been successfully promoted to O levels, and congratulations. Obviously it's going to be a joyride, that you're finally in a position where everyone's like, whoa, O levels, but at the same time you are in the position where this exam decides, it won't decide, but it's also a very important exam which helps you move to this next step of your life. So this is a big certification of someone. um, the whole purpose of this video is that we are going to get introduced to the paper, the subject. All right. So the things that we are going to discuss in this video is the topics that are there in the exam, what are the papers about, how many papers, yada yada yada. All right. So we need to start discussing about paper 1 first. Let me just select it, copy. All right. So the things that you need to know for paper 1. The paper 1 has a duration of 1 hour 30 minutes. I know it does look like a lot of time, but trust me, when you're there in the paper, no matter how much you think that the time is, the time just runs when you're doing the paper. The total marks that are being awarded to you for this paper is 100 marks, but the weightage of this paper is 33.33%. I'll get to the weightage a little bit later, but first you need to understand that the total marks that can be awarded from this paper is only 100. All right. This paper has approximately 26 to 30 questions. I have analyzed last 5 years of paper and all the papers that are the January session, the June session, and they are varying between 26 to 30 questions. All right, so you need to keep that in mind. Although you think that the time is a lot, the time is short for amount of the question that is there, we'll get a little bit more deeper into it. And then you have the distribution, the marks distribution. So the level 4 and 5, level 4 and 5 is the level, the grade 5 and grade 4. I mean, not like grade, like the grade of child, but grade of you getting the grade 4. So grade 4 is, I think it's C. All right. So those are the type of questions. 40% of the paper will be of those kind of questions, and then 60% of the paper will be grade 6, 7, 8, 9 type of questions. All right. That's another thing that we wanted to clear out. And as I was speaking about the weightage is that your grade will be calculated with the total number of marks that you gained in paper 1, the total number of marks you have gained in paper 2, and after that calculation, the total amount of marks that you have gained in paper 1, only 33.33% is going to be considered. So let's say if you have scored 100 on 100, only 33.33% will be calculated. If you have scored 80% in this paper, then you will get 33.33% of 80. All right, that's how you consider the marks for your paper 1. All right. And another thing, paper 1 is a very time sensitive paper. I call it a time sensitive paper because the amount of questions is a lot. All right, amount of questions is a lot, which is 30 questions. Let's say 26 to 30 questions you are getting on a paper, and you have approximately 90 minutes. You have 90 minutes, exactly 90 minutes. So if you do the math, and if you have 30 questions and you have 90 minutes, you have exactly 3 minutes per question. All right, you have 3 minutes per question, which means that if you utilize a minute extra for a question, you will have only 2 minutes for the last question if you do your math like that. But normally what the students are prepared in a way that a question does not consume 3 minutes for them. A question may consume 1 minute 30 seconds. The easier questions, maybe some questions consume 30 seconds, 40 seconds, according to that. So while you're doing the practice, keep that in mind. The amount of question that you have is a lot. Time is very sensitive. If you are not able to do a particular question in paper 1, you need to be very careful. You need to be very mindful as well that you are not utilizing too much amount of time in one question. Because if there is a question that you are not able to solve, and that question is for 4 marks, so 4 marks means 4% of your whole paper. and you're not able to do it, and you're utilizing time from the other questions, because if you spend 4 minutes on a question, you need to keep in mind that you're using 1 minute from another question's time. So if you're utilizing 1 minute from another question's time, you must be damn sure that the question that you're going to come in, you're able to solve it in 2 minutes. So always being on the safer side, I always tell my students that the paper 1 is a flow paper. Like, you have to be flowing through the paper, like dum 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 dum, you keep doing it. All right, if you're stuck, utilize the amount of time that you're dedicated for each question. If you're not able to do it, leave it, move forward and keep doing the questions. If you have time left at the end of the paper, absolutely go back and try to do it. Try to gain as much as marks possible. Try to do working, because if the question is of 4 marks, if you do working, you may get partial mark of 1 or 2 marks. If you get 2 marks out of 4 marks question, that's also amazing, because you got 50% of the marks that is being given from the question. All right, so I hope paper 1 is clear. Paper 1 is a time sensitive paper. You need to be very quick, you need to be very swift, and you need to, paper 1 is more like, when I was doing my O levels, it was more like muscle memory. Like, you do so much practice, and amongst all the students that have ever taught, the only thing that I've ever heard back from them is that they practice so much past papers that paper 1 was like a muscle memory. They just saw the few sections of the question, and they automatically know like what to do with that question. All right, now let's move on to the paper number 2. All right, paper number 2. Oh no, just a minute. Yep. All right, now paper number 2 is more of like, I would consider that this paper is a little bit scarier paper. All right, now the reason why is because paper 1, by the time you're appearing for paper 2, you are done with your paper 1. And many a times, if you mess up in paper 1, paper 2 is a great opportunity for you to get your grade back up. The reason being that paper 2 has 66.66% of the weightage. So if you mess up in your paper 1, if you perform really well in paper 2, you can cover up the mess up that you did in your paper 1. All right, because if you want to score an A or an A star, the average is getting something around 75-78%. If you score something like that, you are getting an A. All right, so again, if you mess paper 1 up, by the time you're doing paper 2, you already have done paper 1. Speaking on basis of like during your exams, so by the time you're appearing for your paper 2, you have already done your paper 1, and you already know how you performed. Like, you mentally know that, oh, I performed well, or yada. Paper 2 is 2 hours and 30 minutes long. All right, and the total marks that is awarded to you from this paper is 100. The weightage is 66.66%. all right, and approximately there is 11 to 12 questions. That's what is an average. And again, the grade distribution I've explained earlier. Okay, now another thing, if you notice, paper 1 had more questions, lesser time, and this paper has lesser questions but more time. The reason is that these questions are long questions. Paper 1 was short questions. That's why it was time sensitive. You had more questions, time sensitive, blah blah blah. But paper 2 is not time sensitive. I wouldn't say time sensitive, but then it is, you have to have good time management, and paper 2 is a little bit on a little bit on the harder end, I would say, because the questions are longer, the questions are bigger, the questions go a little bit more deeper into the concepts. So paper 2 is again a good opportunity for the students to get back up by after their performance of paper 1. But again, you need to perform really well in paper 2 for you to get back up. And paper 2 is a little bit difficult, as I've mentioned earlier, because the weightage is also more, the questions are longer. But again, it's not something that is not impossible. It is something that students have achieved. I have seen students do it. So again, it is very much possible. All right, let's go over the topics, and then we are done for this lecture. One sec. All right, So these are the topics that you guys will be having for your O levels. Now you might be asking me that, sir, you have not explained me that what topics will come in paper 1 and what topics will come in paper 2. The reason is both the papers have the same syllabus. So whatever this topic is, this syllabus is, it is being applied to paper 1 and paper 2. The only difference is that the questions that come in paper 1 are shorter, more direct, and more quick. You have to do more quickly. And the questions that appear in paper 2 are more in depth, and the questions are more focused. Like when I say focused, like question 1 will be of one particular topic and it will evolve around only one particular topic. And sometimes you might get two topics evolved in one question. That's also acceptable in paper 2. But paper 1, it's more like one question will have a little bit of, like, different topics together. So that's what happens in paper 1 as well. So these are the topics. You have numbers, sets, algebra, functions, matrices, geometry, mensuration, vector and transformation of geometry, trigonometry, statistics, and probability. This is it. This is the topics that you guys will be having. We will start the lecture 2 and we'll start doing the topics in order wise. We will go on the chronological order, and yeah, and wish you guys all the very best, and I hope you guys like the way that I teach, and I would be very happy to get feedbacks from y'all that